Welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I am one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen, and over here I got my other co-host,
Captain Blaz.
Yeah, Captain Blaz. He's the hero.
Goddamn right.
Gonna take the fire down to zero. Gonna burn down.
I want you all to know that's a trademark theme song, so please do not record and try to sell it. Thank you. I'm trademarking it. I decided right now.
Oh, you decided right now?
Oh yeah, it's trademarked right now.
How you been doing, Captain Guru Blaz? Captain Guru? Captain?
It doesn't really matter because names are meaningless.
Blazy Captain Guru, blah, blah, blah.
Blazy Captain.
Whoa, oh, wow.
I was watching Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, so that way you can...
It ends up working out, but because in between taking breaks between other stuff I was doing, I just and we'll get into it later, but I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and I got to the Pirates level and it just made me man, I really want to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies again.
It's so good. And I actually like Pirates 3 because I know everyone knows why we're all here. So we're here to review Kingdom Hearts 3, but they did choose the one movie that a lot of people go that one's bad. At World's End is bad. And
I like them all.
Me too.
Stranger Tides was not bad, but it's I didn't care about the mermaid and
I didn't need that one.
Yeah.
I didn't need 4. It was nice and it was fun.
But I did like Ian What's-His-Face who played Blackbeard. And
yeah.
I guess, as long as you have Jack Sparrow, it's hard to go wrong. Mm-hmm. As long as Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow is in the picture.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, yeah. So as far as what I've been up to, it's been playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
Also some Horizon Zero Dawn just because and you want to take breaks after a few hours.
Yep.
But I'm not going to even say anything because we're talking about that in
we will be getting to our full review of Kingdom Hearts 3 in a bit. But yeah, so for me, I've also been playing Kingdom Hearts 3 intensely and getting through it. But outside of that, I've also been very, very excited. I went ahead and watched the Double or Nothing AEW All Elite Wrestling Double or Nothing rally that happened on February 7th. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for that pay-per-view. I know I'm bringing up wrestling, but God, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Kenny Omega is now part of All Elite Wrestling, and he's going to be feuding with Jericho, hence this shirt. Yes, hold on, there we go. Yeah, Jericho, yeah. I need to get a Kenny Omega shirt now, but
I'm very happy to see that you're so excited.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited because this is the first WWE is panicking, because of they're AEW is pulling in all these guys and people want to leave WWE to go to All Elite because they're backed by the Khan family who are massive billionaires because they own the Jacksonville Jaguars and other things. They make tons of money. So I'm very, very excited for All Elite Wrestling and what that is and stuff. I know I keep wearing wrestling shirts for our podcast, but it's okay.
That's whatever, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing this. You don't even know what this is. This is a John Wayne brand button-up something or another.
There you go. John Wayne.
But it's very comfortable.
But yeah, on kind of on my off times, I would, that it was that, and again, it's kind of just been, most of my time has been taken up by Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
It's very much...
I also been playing, I've been really getting into this one game, I think I may have mentioned it to you, I got it for free, I believe it was last month, and it was a smaller game developed with the Unity engine that was on the PS Plus. It was called, it's Flames of Rebellion, Legend of... It's I can't really... It's something...
Was it a free plus game?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's this roguelike, but a combo-based roguelike game. And it's really... I don't know. I really dig it. The story's not the most amazing, but you make decisions... They add a decent amount to it for what it is.
Yeah.
And it's actually really fun. Like the combo is like getting link chains and stuff, and it's like a progressively roguelike moving forward. You get different.
I can't think of the name of the game, but I do know what you're
It's like
talking
Flames
about.
of Rebellion, Legend of something.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a game you would definitely just breeze over without giving it a second thought, but it looked interesting, so
Yeah.
I figured like, what is this? And it's not what I expected at all, but it's actually really fun.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So we're gonna begin with, as always, news of the nation. All right, so to begin, let's start off. People have been kind of talking about this, but NetherRealm has come to say. NetherRealm says no to Shaggy in Mortal Kombat 11.
And I'm gonna weigh in on this because I run a meme page and I've been keeping up with the Shaggy meme because I basically, by running a meme page, I get to see the evolution. I can pretty much predict what will become popular at this point.
Yep.
And like, I love the Shaggy meme.
Oh,
I love it so much. Because in addition to the fact that Shaggy would definitely be the character I most identified with out of the Scooby-Doo gang.
Of course.
It's just like it all originated from that. I don't know what the name of the new movie was where he was in, but I saw it, like where he fought off a bunch of bikers under hypnosis.
Yes, it was. I believe
Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
I believe let me go ahead. I believe it was like Phantom of the. I just want to quickly.
The Phantom of the Mucus. Not fast enough.
Shut up.
Scooby-Doo and the motorcycle.
You're funny.
I am
You're
funny.
I can't even remember.
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, like
that's where it started, and then like it basically became. It was almost like because I saw and I had been thinking it, and then I saw a meme about what I'm about to say, like in a different form of like phrasing, but it basically said that like
there it is, Phantasaur motorcycle, Phantasaur motorcycle. Chase.
Yeah, but basically it was like almost like a modern revitalization.
Yeah, Legend of the Phantasaur, which was a film that came out in 2011.
It was like a modern version of Chuck Norris jokes in a sense.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like different, but it was like still not the same, and I loved it, dude. It was hilarious.
So before I go ahead and like relay all this, the way it worked, because I didn't understand it at all. I'm like, why am I seeing Scooby-Doo as Goku and all this stuff? And I had to kind of figure that out. What it is that in Legend of the Phantasaur, Shaggy goes to see a hypnotist, and pretty much he falls under the prey of it. And any time that someone says bad, he would go back and forth between pretty much being a kung fu badass to then go back to being Shaggy. Mm-hmm. So one of the bikers said oh man, you're like, he said bad. I can't remember in the context, but then all of a sudden he clicks and goes like, so what do you want to do, punk? And he just beats just kung fu Bruce Lee.
He's like, there are two ways that this can work. One, you walk away.
You walk away.
Two, I walk on your face.
I walk on your face.
And he literally single-handedly beats up an entire biker gang.
And I think it's like 20 of them.
And then it was further cemented because someone did the Ultra Instinct theme song behind him, while he's fighting.
Yep. And then that's why you have the pictures and everything. And then because of that,
it got big enough where people started signing a petition to get him in Mortal Kombat 11.
Exactly.
Because of his insane power. And there's I've seen D&D character based off of him and a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And it got big enough where Ed Boon responded. He was just like, the first thing he said was let me know how that works out for you. And then Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy in the movies, at first he was just this is just weird, but then he just kind of came over and he's just got into it. There's been amazing art done of Shaggy as just a cosmic being.
Yep. So to come
and
back,
he did some fan art too. Boom released fan art of Shaggy upper kneeing Scorpion in the chin.
Yeah. So to come back to the article that I have via GameSpot, NetherRealm confirmed that Shaggy will not be in the game ever. The Mortal Kombat Twitter account also posted about the news, applying a finisher to the meme. #RIP Shaggy. And that's what it is. This and then this comes after the memes they've been portraying about Shaggy, what we've been talked about. Fans began a petition to NetherRealm Studios to include Shaggy in Mortal Kombat 11. which honestly, actually, you know what? I'm glad, honestly, that I would love to see Shaggy in a NetherRealm fighting game, like this version.
Like that would just be a
like,
fun character.
That would be like
he has lanky range. Like you could just definitely work up something.
I think because the way that NetherRealms have done their games is that that you have an opening, so you have these two fighters talking to each other.
Yeah.
So you can have you could have him like Shaggy be coming in, and then all of a sudden he clicks in to being this like fighter, and then after he's done,
he's scared as he's walking up, but then as soon as the fight starts, he'll just say something to signify that he switched over.
Yeah. But like the reason why I'm honestly glad that he's not in Mortal Kombat is I wouldn't want to see a fatality done to Shaggy.
I would love to see Shaggy do a fatality.
Which would be cool.
That's the double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, you don't want to see Shaggy get like screwed up with a fatality, but I would love to just, I don't know, he just straight up rips someone's head off and feeds it to Scooby-Doo or something.
But like honestly, I would like to see it. Like I would rather see this done in Injustice.
It's a less gruesome game. That's
DC and W.
It would almost make more sense given like the nature of like the character that Shaggy is in these memes, being like an all-powerful being. He just shows up with glowing blue eyes.
Yeah, and like the relationship between DC and WB is they have very close. Like there's crossover comics with like Looney Tune characters and DC heroes.
Yeah.
There are Hanna-Barbera, which that's kind of where Scooby-Doo came from. Like you have Hanna-Barbera crossover comics also. So like honestly, I'd rather see Shaggy in Injustice as this character as like in this style.
Just an all-powerful, multi-dimensional being. He's essentially like Dr. Manhattan's true form.
Yeah, because like mind you, like in Injustice 2, we got the Ninja Turtles. Like there's so many like weird what the Ninja Turtles are in here. There's so many like.
Although that makes more sense than Shaggy, objectively, without the context of this movie.
Of course, yes, of course. Or of that movie.
Right.
Of that movie. But yeah. But no, I'm honestly glad that it's... I would want to see Shaggy in a fighting game, but not in Mortal Kombat.
I want to just see a Scooby-Doo fighting game now. Like, where each of the characters is a fighter.
Yeah.
But they're, like, really, like brutal-looking versions of them. Like, they're real, like, a gritty reboot type thing.
No.
Just because it'd be funny.
No, because... No, because I still would want it to stay true to the heart, the spirit of Scooby-Doo. And like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, the cartoon, if anyone hasn't watched it, please go watch it. It's the best version of Scooby-Doo ever. That was where they took it's a congruent story that it has a beginning to end. Like you have to watch the whole show from beginning to end, the series, in order to kind of understand everything, and it's fantastic. But anyway, let's move on. Next topic. Former Telltale developers have started a new studio. From Telltale, four former Telltale developers...
There's a tongue twister for you. Four former Telltale
developers have developed a new game production company called Ad Hoc Studio, ADHOC Studio. While the team's first game has yet not been announced, the studio is focusing on creating interactive entertainment experiences, perhaps similar to Bandersnatch from Netflix and Her Story. Leveraging the developer's experience in television, film, and games. Nick Herman, the COO of Ad Hoc, says, quote, live-action interactive like Bandersnatch isn't a novelty, it's unexplored territory. So, good. Like, I'm happy. I'm glad that the developers of Telltale are...
if anyone in the gaming industry would be the ones to get into that kind of entertainment, especially in its budding, it's basically just kind of come to the forefront, they definitely would have more experience. Their games are essentially movies. Yeah,
but I love them because I love the story.
It's almost like they already have been doing it, but just not in a cinematic format. Because their games are essentially choice-based narratives.
Yeah, but that's kind of their whole thing.
That's what I know. That's what I'm saying. They would be really good in
yeah.
Like to do this kind of new entertainment, given the nature of it's like basically a choice-based narrative, but in film form. Mm-hmm. They already have pretty much the experience. It's just a new medium. That's really the only difference.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, no, I'm glad that the Telltale developers are still working, that are still doing something. I'm happy about that. But yeah, let's move on. Next topic. Devil May Cry 5 director has considered making Dragon's Dogma 2. This is coming from Capcom. The Devil May Cry 5 director Hideki Itsuno says that he considered making Dragon's Dogma 2, but pursued DMC5 instead. Quote from Hideki. Sorry, I'm missing.
Let me see. I want to read it.
Hideki
Ryuga?
Yes, Itsuno. I need to pull this up.
No, wait, yeah. Let me. Where is it?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay. It's Hidetaki Itsuno.
There we go. Hidetaki. There we go. Quote from Hidetaki Itsuno. Quote, so when the discussion came up for Devil May Cry 5, I went to Capcom's founder, Kenzo Sugimoto, and said, look, I want to make either Devil May Cry 5 or Dragon's Dogma 2 next. He said, okay, do whatever you want. Do whichever one you want. So I thought, all right.
Those have got to be like the greatest words.
Oh, yes.
Like when you're a game developer, just do whatever you want. You're going to get funded for it because we know you're going to, you've been...
It's going to sell.
Just
do it. Just go.
Like, just imagine having that much creative freedom. Like, well, I need this and this and this. Like, oh, he needs it. It's going to happen. Like
Exactly. So, continuing the quote. So I thought, let's do DMC5. So we did that. I had ideas for Dragon's Dogma 2 at the time as well. I've always got maybe around 4 different titles in mind. I'm already gearing up for my next project. We can't say what it is, but we're looking forward to getting to work on it. So that's really cool. Like, we already know Devil May Cry 5 is coming.
I've already got that pre-order.
Oh, me too.
I played a little bit of the first Dragon's Dogma. It was a fantastic game. I just never ended up finishing it. I have been meaning to get Arisen just because, like, it was a really cool... I liked the way it was put together. Like, it almost had, like, a mix of, like, Resident Evil, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of cool aspects to it. The combat... Because combat is, like, almost... is number one next to story for a game for me. If, like, the combat isn't solid... Because the thing is, a story can be fantastic, but if the core of what makes the game fun to play isn't good, then... it's not going to matter how good the story is because barely anyone's going to get through it because they're going to stop having fun.
I mean, I get you, but I mean, like, again, I have tons. I love, as I said, going back, like, I love the Telltale games, but there's really no gameplay involved outside of, like, I'm going to move.
Oh, I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying for me, if a game has a combat as a focus, like going into Telltale games, that combat's not a focus.
Yeah.
But if you're going into a game like Dragon's Dogma, like where combat is a focus, I think it's executed very well.
No, I agree. And
they have like a Resident Evil style crafting system almost where you can like put stuff together. A lot of realism, and it looked great too.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think Capcom's kind of coming back on the rise because I know on the last generation there were a lot of Capcom games came out and not a lot of people liked. You had Resident Evil 6. They
did DOA, didn't they? Dead or Alive?
I don't know.
I know it was Team Ninja, which I feel like is part of Capcom. Because DOA 6 is on the rise, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's just like you had all the problems with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then you had Marvel vs. Capcom 4, which was
Infinite,
Marvel vs. Capcom.
I never played that one.
But like Capcom's on the rise with Monster Hunter being like touted one of the best live service games, or at least that's in my opinion.
Sure.
You have tons of anticipation and excitement behind DMC5, and if
there should be,
yeah, and like if they're going to be working on the next game after is going to be Dragon Dogma 2, that's going to be another game that people are going to be like excited for. So like, good on them. All right, but let's go ahead and move on. Next topic. Metal Gear Solid's movie director Jordan Vogt-Roberts loves Death Stranding. This is coming from Sony. Jordan Vogt-Roberts has played Death Stranding and has come away with glowing impressions. Roberts, the director of the upcoming Metal Gear Solid film, has compared the game to watching Mad Max Fury Road. From his Twitter account, quote, "Remember when Fury Road blew you away but also made you ask, WTF? How does this miracle exist? You are not ready." End quote. Actor Norman Reedus, who portrays the protagonist Sam in the game, praises the experience of working with Hideo Kojima. Via Metro, quote, "That guy is such a genius, Hideo Kojima." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, so they'll be playing me? And he's like, no, they are you. We will make them cry as you. The concept is so far out into the future, I've never seen anything like what we're doing, end quote. So, like,
Is he referencing Death Stranding's
yes,
story?
Yes. He's talking about, or no, like, that's the thing, like, he says, oh, so they're playing as me, like, you control Sam, and Kojima says to him, no, they are you. We will make them cry as you. So whether it's in metaphorically or something else, I'm not entirely sure. Kojima is a crazy man. But
Most geniuses are.
I'm aware. But like Death Stranding, like we've heard so many.
I've seen some footage, and yeah, I've been keeping up.
We've heard so many like rumors and different things about this game, and I'm like, there's no way that this is a PS4 game. I honestly think this is a PS5 game. Mm-hmm. And like I have no idea what this game, how it like, what's the gameplay, what you're doing, what it's about.
I mean, there are some trailers out there, but
I'm still confused as all hell about like what it.
That's
what
probably
it
the point.
That's because Kojima's a madman genius.
Yep.
So I mean, like
he knows what he's doing. It doesn't matter if anyone else can figure it out.
Oh yeah, that's. Whew. Speaking of PS5, next topic. PS5. Sony may be working on PS5 backward compatibility. This comes from Sony. A new patent suggests that the next PlayStation could include backward compatibility. The patent was filed back on January 20th of 2017 and has been published on January 31st of 2019 by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Inventors listed include the PS4 lead architect Mark Cerny and principal programmer at Sony Entertainment Europe, Simon Pilgrim. The patent details a process that could run software from legacy devices perfectly on a new device. Though no platforms have been stated, this could mean future PlayStation hardware might emulate older consoles.
I mean, it was only a matter of time.
Honestly, I think
they know how much money they have to make from it. At the end of the day, as a business decision, if not for this, the players themselves.
Like a big reason why Xbox One kind of came back. I'm not saying that like Xbox One kind of came back and it's a one-on-one fight when it comes to the sales of the console war. Like the PlayStation is still outselling Xbox 2-1 at least. But what is able to make Xbox kind of get a comeback was, I think it was like back in like 2016, I believe it was 2016, wherein they said they were doing backwards compatibility to the 360, and then the year after.
And I love my 360. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy, but my 360 is a great console. There's just so many good games on it.
I get you. I mean, like for me,
I just didn't have a PS3 at the time, like that, because I was an Xbox guy. Mm-hmm. And then it's in the newest, like the current generation where I kind of switched over, but I still kept my 360 because it has a bunch of games that I don't feel like getting rid of, and it's cheap to buy for.
For me, I love my original Xbox. I
have one of those as well. Yep.
I had an original Xbox, and then I went to the PS3, and I played all those PS2 games, which made me fall in love with like God of War and Kingdom Hearts, that kind of stuff. And I've been a PlayStation guy ever since. But this is something that the PS5 needs. This is something that it'll
pretty much cement the sales that they're gonna have.
Yeah, because the PS4 is such a selling console and sells so well that if it doesn't have that backward compatibility to the PS4, at least I would like to see it to other systems.
Especially if they're going to have a different game type.
And
they'd be dumb to not at least have backwards compatibility. You know why they're probably doing it is because the PS4 library is so big that, like, if nothing else, like, I mean, PS2, PS1, PS3, that would be awesome as well. But no one's going to buy the PS5 if they can't play PS4 games on it. Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to want to get rid of an entire library of games they've been collecting if they have to, or buy a new type of game entirely. Like, as example, like 360 to Xbox One. until the backwards compatibility, you wouldn't have been able to do it.
Well, the whole problem with Xbox since the get-go is their message was portrayed poorly. Is that they were like, when they announced the Xbox One, they were like TV, sports, TV, movies, games, TV, sports. Like,
yeah,
it's
an entertainment device, but gaming is like the forefront of what made it an entertainment device.
Well, that's what should have been said, but the problem is they reversed it. Games was like, you play video games.
Well, it was also like Netflix was really big, and so like that was a big selling point.
They were too forward thinking. Like that was the thing is like, because now if you like, we've talked about this before, but like now like everyone has Netflix and everyone's connected to the internet. Internet's a needed commodity in order like for this. It's almost a utility. So like
actually in Europe it is considered a utility.
So there you go.
And I want us to get on that program.
I agree. So like with like at the time where they said, oh, you need to be connected to the internet every 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Like we were like, well, why?
Yeah.
Especially for people who live out in the boonies, like.
Yeah, I want to be able to get a game and just play it without the internet. Then I want to do that too.
But now the most popular games are Fortnite and now Apex Legends, which apparently that game has just blown up. It's made by Respawn. This is the game that they.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try it because I heard about it and I wanted to give it a shot. Isn't it free on like?
Yes,
on PlayStation
it's a free to play game, and it's a team based. It's a team-based a battle royale. It's still a battle royale, but now it's a trio. It's
what kind of weapons fighting?
Still a shooter. Gotcha. It's still a shooter. But the way it works is that if you die, instead of being kicked out or like, pretty much, I'm dead. On to the next. I have to go ahead and join another match. You can then, when you're dead, your partners grab like your body or like whatever represents your body, and then you go bring it to a medical station, and they bring you back. Also, when you're dead. The only way to win is to kill all three of the team. That's the only way to kill them.
So, like, how big are these matches, though?
How big?
If you're on a 3-person team, what are you fighting against?
You're fighting against other 3-person teams.
Right, but there's got to be a sum total of the total amount of people in one match.
I believe I'm not. Again, I haven't played it personally. I just know that it's blowing up everywhere.
Oh, fair enough.
Which, like... good on them, but I'm very happy for Respawn because I think Respawn needs a win because Titanfall 2 is such an underrated game, and the reason why is because EA went ahead and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna put it right after Battlefield 1 and just before Call of Duty, sandwich it in between the two biggest games to come out."
Especially given Titanfall 1's reputation.
Yeah. So like again, they sandwiched it into. Pretty much dead man's land when it came out back in 2016. Like, Jesus God. Or 2017, I can't remember, but I remember that was the time. But, like, coming all the way back is that, like, having backwards compatibility on a PS5 would definitely be the best thing to do. And I think that also takes away... That helps people go, oh, I do want to buy my system day one. I don't want to, like... Because a big reason why the PS4... had such momentum behind it is because of the poor messaging of Xbox, everything that they were saying, and then the price, and that's like Spectre has been
exclusives.
I do agree. I do agree with that. That is definitely a me thing, but I do understand why some people say that exclusives aren't important.
They are when that's the game you want to play, and you need when I got my PS4, like basically like Last of Us and Bloodborne are like the games that made me buy my PS4.
Oh yeah.
Like and even going into now, like God of War, all the JRPGs you can think of, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like it's just there's more games coming out on the PlayStation.
And again, I agree, but like at first, because
at first Xbox had it because Halo. Forza,
I know, I agree.
Halo, Forza, and Gears of War were like the flagship titles.
Really, I think it wasn't up until Uncharted 4 that really like they're.
I think Last of Us had a huge part to play.
Well, but remember
in the long game.
Are you talking about the remaster? Are you talking about
the remaster?
Okay, that I can definitely see, but like I'm talking about like brand new exclusives.
Sure.
Infamous wasn't enough, even though it's enough for me. Order 1886. Some people were excited, but then you had that. I still love that game, but I think it was until Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is when
that was kind of pretty much the biggest one.
That's the exclusive that.
And really, Little Big Planet was another one. Mm-hmm.
but like you had a $400 system versus a $500 system. The $500 system came with a camera that no one wanted, and you had you can trade in your games, you can do this. It's easier for developers to use, unlike the PS3. We learned from our mistakes. Blah 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 blah. Now. Right now, with kind of what PlayStation has been doing with them not showing up at E3, not having a PSX, a lot of the things I'm very much worried about them not being as open to cross-platform play as Xbox and Nintendo are. That's honestly that's a bad thing. I personally don't care because I don't.
That's probably because if they were to do that, then they would probably have to give up a lot of that exclusivity with their games, because in order to have cross-platform play, you'd have to have it exist on all systems.
It's not. No, it's more about like games like with Rocket League and Fortnite.
Oh, I know. I'm
like
just
those.
saying, but in general, like still, like if there was a game that was a console exclusive that was multiplayer, then they wouldn't want to do the cross-platforming with it, because then that would have them give up that exclusivity. I'm not saying that would be
no, this would be a game. So like if
I know which games would normally do it. I'm just saying that would be another facet of why they don't have.
Well, actually, they have spoken about this. This is last year. They spoke about how they don't want to go ahead and incorporating other ecosystems. Again, it was a lot of corporate speak, but it was like they don't want to incorporate other ecosystems into there. Pretty much the gist of it, I understood it. What it means is that if you open it up to other consoles, cross-platform play, meaning that my account works on my Switch and my Xbox One, along with my PlayStation. If I am playing Fortnite on my PS4, but then I take my Switch on the go and I go to a coffee shop and I want to play Fortnite, but I want to buy some, a skin or whatever, I use Nintendo credit instead of PlayStation credit.
Oh, sure.
That like makes sense. They're right now the console leaders right now. Yeah. So them. That's I get it company wise, but that's bad PR for them. But all in all, backward compatibility, very, very good. I'm very, very happy with that. But let's go ahead. Next topic. Speaking of revenue, PSN revenue has outpaced all of Nintendo and Xbox in 2018. This also comes from Sony. PSN generated a record high of $12.5 billion with a B billion dollars in USD in 2018, according to analyst Daniel Ahmad. That's more than all of Nintendo's generated sales last year. It's also greater than that generated by Microsoft's entire gaming division in 2018. That total was $11.5 billion, according to Ahmad. The PSN figure includes full game downloads, add-ons, and subscriptions. Sony CFO Hiroki Tatoki said that network services present the largest opportunity for PlayStation, which makes sense.
Yeah, obviously the proof's in the pudding.
Yep. That is definitely very, very good for them. All right. Next topic. The free games that you get for PlayStation Plus for February of 2019 have now been announced. So these are the free games that you get on the PS4 and PS3 and the Vita for February. Now, mind you, this will be the last month for the free games on PS3 and the Vita. Coming in March, that'll be it. There will not be any free games for the PS3 or the Vita when March comes around. So these are the last one.
Well, that doesn't affect me, but that's...
I'm aware, but again, for me, I have a PS3 and a Vita. I do care about this.
I'm surprised they've been doing it this long.
I mean, mind you, remember when the PS2, they still made games for PS2, even when the PS3 was
PS2
still around.
to this day is the best-selling console with the biggest library.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So these are the free games that you get for PlayStation Plus. You get For Honor and... Hitman: The Complete First Season for your PS4.
Downloaded both of them because I've been wanting to play the newer Hitman for a while now and just haven't bought it.
I'm like, I see For Honor and I'm like, God dang it, I already bought that game. But I went ahead and bought the expansion, the one that comes with that second class, the Rising Sun or whatever. I can't remember the expansion.
Couldn't tell you.
But so again, I'm like, dang it, I already bought this game. But For Honor is a good game. I love For Honor. And then for your PS3. You get Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. Good game. Dive Kick for your PS3 and Vita.
That's amazing. Dive Kick.
That's
the most simplistic fighting game in existence.
Oh, I know. It's great. And the whole game is just fighting game jokes. It's great. It's fantastic. Gunhouse for your PS4 and Vita, and Rogue Aces for your PS4 and Vita. So again, you get 4 games for your PS4, and then you have 3 for your Vita and 2 for your PS3. So not bad at all. The stuff is falling down. I like it. All right. Anyway, last topic. Disney says that it's never been good at video games and remains happy with EA's work. So on one of our past episodes called A New Hope, Rescuing Star Wars from EA, we talked about how, where at the time that was when EA just went ahead and closed down Visceral Games, and then they also took away the assets from the studio that was working on the then closed Visceral Games, and now they didn't want it to be a single-player narrative-driven game. They gave it to, which was at Vancouver, they then gave it to a different EA studio to be able to turn it out quicker and have it be an open-world live service game. We spent a very long time, big topic on that. That was our main topic for that episode. And we talked about how this is just saying that EA is pretty much abusing the Star Wars license, and that nothing has come to fruition positively for the Star Wars brand. Anything like that. We didn't like Star Wars Battlefront 1, we didn't like Battlefront 2 because of its loot boxes, and we haven't heard of a new game until Fallen Order, which has been said to be coming out in 2019. And all we got last year at E3 was pretty much the head of Respawn saying that there's a new Star Wars game called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and that's it. That's just the name of the game, and that's it. So I don't. Okay, so I have this article from Variety. The source comes from Variety. The Walt Disney Company has a, quote, good relationship, I need to make sure the quotes are good relationship, and with Electronic Arts, and has no interest in returning to video games, something with which it was never able to demonstrate with much skill, CEO Bob Iger said in an earnings call on Tuesday, and this article was posted on February 5th. Of 2019. Quote, we're good at making movies and television shows and theme parks and cruise ships and the like, but we've never been able to manage to demonstrate much skill on the publishing side of games, Iger said in response to a question about Disney's potential future involvement in video game development. Walt Disney Company has been shed its video game development and publishing interests for almost as long as it's been in the business of making interactive entertainment. Over the course of the decades, Disney has created and published different studios and publishers, only later to shut them down. They shut down the studio making Disney Infinity, along with Club Penguin and Emoji Blitz, which were PC games. Back in 2013, they partnered with Electronic Arts, which Electronic Arts would have the exclusive rights to the Star Wars license. And then you had the whole fiasco about Battlefront 2, so on and so forth. Iger seemed to be either unaware of some of the drama surrounding EA's recent handling of the Star Wars brand, or unconcerned when an analyst asked him for thoughts on where video games fit into Disney's business going forward. Quote, we're obviously mindful of the size of that business, Iger said. Over the years, as you know, we've tried our hand at self-publishing. We've bought companies. We've sold companies, we've bought companies, we've bought developers, we've closed developers. And we found out over the years that we haven't been particularly good at the self-publishing side, but we've been great at the licensing side, which obviously doesn't require that much allocation of capital. Since we're allocating capital in other directions, we've just decided that the best place for us to be in that space is licensing and not publishing. We've had good relationships with some of those we're licensing to, notably EA, and the relationship on the Star Wars properties. And we're probably going to stay on that side of the business and put our capital elsewhere, end quote. So, great.
I mean,
great.
It's there's not even really much to say. It's basically them just saying, like, we don't really care. And... we're just gonna keep doing what we do because they make money no matter what. So
I understand that, but
it sucks. I mean,
I don't care if you're with EA. It's just that EA should not be the only ones making that game. That's it. That's the whole point, is that like EA has abused and just destroyed the Star Wars license. Like, a big reason why, like, even I'm in the same boat where I'm like, I don't know if I want to get Anthem, is because of EA. They went ahead and just, like, I was excited for Battlefront 1. I pre-ordered and bought it. I bought the system that came with it, the Darth Vader system. I played it for maybe 5 hours, and I got bored of it because I don't play online games like that. It's fun, but it's a skeleton of a game, and it didn't become a full game until like a year after, when all the Season Pass stuff came out. Then you have Battlefront 2, which is just loot box galore during the time when like the whole video game industry was just like eyeing up loot boxes. Single player games had it. You had Shadow of War had loot boxes that came under fire. Overwatch. Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 is the whole reason no one likes loot boxes. Because, like...
it's essentially gambling.
Yes, and like it's not even cosmetic. That's the biggest thing. It wasn't even cosmetic. In order to be good at the game, you had to get these loot boxes. They pretty much used the formula that they've used for FIFA and Madden and other sports games and put them into that. And they even said before that game came out that they were going to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's just infuriating. So now they're just like, yeah, we don't care. And I'm like, why don't you? You own Marvel. Look at Marvel Spider-Man. Marvel Spider-Man sold... it's an exclusive, so it's only on one console. And 2, it outsold God of War in the same year. Both that and God of War were up for Game of the Year nominations pretty much throughout the whole video game industry. We even nominated those 2 games. Mm-hmm. So, like Marvel is doing a really good job because they went, hey, Sony... here's a Spider-Man game. Hey, Nintendo, here's Ultimate Alliance 3. And, like, you still have Square Enix doing the Avengers project. Whatever that would be. So, like, you have all of these... like, you have Marvel, who is owned by Disney, putting out licenses for their Marvel games. And those games are... like, again, we only have Marvel Spider-Man, but, like, that game looks really good. Like, that game was fantastic. Storyline, combat, everything. Just fantastic game. And then you have Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, which... just seeing the trailer, I'm like, it's exactly what I'm expecting, even if the story is very to the T, just normal, hey, superhero, like there's nothing deep to it or whatever. It like, here are the bad guys, you are the good guys, fight the bad guys, but you're like, I love Ultimate Alliance. I don't need a deep story. The whole combat system of Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 was just so much fun, and I love that. I'm so excited for Ultimate Alliance 3.
Are you gonna cry?
No, I don't know why.
You sound like you're getting just emotional. I'm just making sure you're okay with it.
I can't.
Why don't they just let other developers have the license? It's just... I mean, it is definitely sad.
It just infuriates me. It's just, I don't understand. I would probably be madder. I'd be more infuriated and yelling more, but. It's just it disappoints me, and I'm just like, and like, look, being a licensor,
it's basically just it's just a bunch of unrealized potential. It's
just Disney, and which I get it. Disney had like, if you look at like, they have not been very good at publishing games, at being an in-house developer and publishing them. That I do understand, and that I do agree with. Okay. But then you're going, hey, EA, you get to make these games. They have made 2 games over the course of 4 years, and we even talked about it on our past, on that past episode of Dualshock'd. They only made 2 games over the course of 4 years. Over those same 4 years, when it was under the hold of LucasArts, mind you, this was before Disney held it, but like you had like 8 different games coming out all at the same time, all of different genres. You had RPG, action adventure, first-person shooter, squad-based shooter, so on and so forth. You had so many different genres and stories and games that, like, are part of my childhood, and part of those Star Wars games specifically are the reason why I love video games. Like, the greatest game in all of existence to me is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah.
And, like...
it's a good one.
And like again, we've talked about this. Like the rumor is that and this also talks about how there's a I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor is that EA doesn't want BioWare to do a coder game, and because they wanted them to focus on Anthem, and it makes sense why EA kind of doesn't care. Yeah. It's because again, look, it's a license that EA has, and EA doesn't make as much money on on a Star Wars game because you have to split that between EA and Disney. Where if EA just makes a game made in house like Anthem or Apex Legends or whatever, that's made in house.
Yeah,
and we all know that EA loves their bottom line. That's pretty much the only thing they care about because that's all we keep seeing. That's all that we see. So that's why the Battlefront games are easy to do because you just tell DICE to go, hey, do Battlefield, but put a Star Wars coat of paint on it.
That's literally what.
And make it a little bit different. That way, you can trick people to be like, oh, it's not Battlefield, but it is, and it's just disappointing and infuriating, and I'm just like great. So I'm hoping that because I think the 10-year deal was back in 2013. So in 2023, hopefully they will change to someone else, or they won't be exclusive. But who knows? And I don't know about Jedi Fallen Order. Maybe it will actually be good, but right now I don't have faith in EA. I really don't. And going to Apex Legends is a really fun battle royale game, but it is made by EA. So this was a game because EA stocks have been falling. They dropped really hard and fast, and Apex Legends really saved them because of this. So if Apex Legends got within, I believe it was in about 8 hours, Apex Legends got 1 million players, concurrent players on their game within 8 hours. So them seeing that, they're seeing the dollar signs and they're just gonna go, oh yeah, just go. So I don't see Respawn doing a Titanfall 3 because they want to focus on this, and then they probably because of the license, because of the contract they have with Disney about Star Wars, they have to make a Star Wars game. So here's Jedi Fallen Order. So I don't know, but that's all I got for news and everything like that. But let's go ahead and move on to the main topic and why we're all here.
Speaking of Disney licenses,
one license that has always been good, and one Disney license that they have done with the developer, and their relationship has been very, very good. Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts franchise, and we are here to review Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
Where to begin, my man?
Probably the beginning.
Yeah, well, that would definitely be good.
No.
All right, so first, the music in the game is absolutely amazing.
God, that Hitada Hikaru and
God.
Skrillex song in the opening, in addition to the cinematics always being fantastic.
Oh my God, and I saw the opening that you see, if you go to YouTube and you see the official opening, the one that you get from PlayStation is only a minute 50, maybe 2 minutes. The real opening is about 4. It's the whole song, and it does a fantastic job. If you follow the Kingdom Hearts story, it does a really good job of showing of what happened to everyone in each game, and it's so gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously being on a new engine, the whole game visually is just a feast for the eyes, especially given the nature of the art style that Kingdom Hearts has always had. And stuff. It's glorious
on the new engine. Honestly, it still looks like the old Kingdom Hearts games. But it's
better.
Yeah, it flows better.
Well, it's because that art style, they're anime style characters, so you can only get so real. But it's just a much smoother, more defined. The worlds especially. I think are where a lot of the realism comes in. The texturing and the graphics and all of that.
And when the game starts up, one of the best things about this one particularly is the game starts up in the action. You see the theme. You have the opening. It starts with the opening from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Point 2 of Fragmentary Story, where Sora, Goofy, and Donald are talking to Yin Sid, and Yin Sid says, "You've lost your power. You need to speak to someone who has also lost his power." Which then he's talking about Hercules,
right?
And
that's the first.
And that's the first world you go to. One of the best parts. I love this. One of the best parts is that when it opens, so you have that whole opening. And then you have it goes Kingdom Hearts 2.9.
Yeah.
It's
like the intermediary before the story of 3 begins, which is essentially Sora trying to regain his ability and attain the power of waking.
Yeah.
Which is like the whole big thing that he's trying to ultimately get. No one really knows what that is or how to get it, but that's what he has to do.
The power of waking.
At that point in the game.
Yeah. But like, man, you feel like even being in Hercules' world, like it's gorgeous.
Yeah, Olympus.
Like I'm like when you were on Mount Olympus, it looked like that, and oh god, it's gorgeous. If you look at the other worlds, like you have it's you have Toy Story.
Well, there's Olympus, Toy Box.
Yep, which is Toy Story.
Monsters Incorporated, which is
Monstropolis.
Yeah.
You have the Kingdom of Corona, which is Tangled.
Mm-hmm.
You have Arendelle, which is Frozen. You have the Caribbean, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. And San Francisco, which is Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anyone? I think I got them all. Because it's Toy Story, Tangled.
Well, there's Twilight Town.
But yeah,
technically is a world because
Mm-hmm.
there's more worlds than the advertised worlds in the game. But I think that covers
that's all of them.
Yeah, there was only like 6.
Yeah,
there was like 6 Disney related worlds, and then there's worlds outside of that come into play later.
Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Tangled, Frozen, Pirates, and
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6. Yeah, 6. There we go. Oh, what was your favorite? Which one was your favorite?
Oh man, that's so hard. Like, I suppose San Francisco probably.
Really?
Because that's really Twilight Town is an awesome world, but it doesn't really count as far as the Disney worlds. But I actually still have yet to see Big Hero 6. I have it,
really?
But I've been wanting to see it, but then I forget about it.
Yeah, I get you.
And I have it, but I just haven't watched it. But I already pretty much could assume the storyline from the context. But I think it was cool because in addition to the fact that I love all things Japanese and like just the cool tech aspect, you get like an AR, like an augmented reality headset, and you get to fly around with a robot. And
with Baymax?
Right, yeah. It was really the first instance where like a true city to explore. Like it was a bit, you know what? I didn't even find the map in that level. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I got there. I didn't find the map the whole time I was there. It could be so easy to get lost in that level because everything looks the same and I don't know where anything's going.
Huh.
And I don't know what chest I missed because I just did not find it.
It's actually it's in the opening.
I didn't see it anywhere. So I ended up just going through the whole level without it. So I obviously it didn't matter.
Apparently you missed it really hard because that was probably one of the only few chests that I actually found by myself.
I found every other map. I found every other map for every other world except that one. But anyway, I think the reason I really like it, in addition to like the whole technological aspect, is like it was such a cool city to explore, and like. One of your abilities, and this is like when we get into the combat, but there's like a flow motion where like if you like land on a certain type of railing, you just start like skiing on it.
Yep.
And it was like, because I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare to traverse the city. But then I found out you could do that. And be like, never mind, I can just.
Yep. Or like you can just go ahead and be like.
Or if you activate Baymax especially, you can fly around literally.
You can go ahead and do if you press R1, I think it's called the shot lock.
Yep. Yeah, you can like zoom to different points. Yeah, I was using that to scale buildings.
I did that
because you can run up like the free running in it is like you can pretty much do it on almost everything, but like it just still takes a while.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
I mean
yeah.
the worlds are great, the graphics are good. I think that like, I mean, there's really, I mean, it's almost hard to say anything else for me. Like,
I mean,
it was pretty incredible as far as aesthetics.
for me, my favorite world, like, it's really hard because, like, man, like, all of them are so different to each other. You have Tangled, who the Kingdom of Corona.
I think yeah, that was a gorgeous like.
That one was really well done, and like Frozen, Tangled, and Pirates were all retellings of their movies. So
with like slight differences because Sora and company happen to be there. But they're essentially the same thing.
But like also one of the reasons, like some of the reasons why some of the things happen in the movies is because of them. Like I love that stuff. Like even the real, like I was honestly surprised at how real Sora, Donald, and Goofy looked alongside of like Jack Sparrow, Barbossa, Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann. Like my God,
because Pirates was definitely the most realistic depiction of like human beings in the game.
Yep. And like my God, like I'm like, yep. Donald and Goofy don't even look like out of place, like at all.
Well, you've also been with them the whole time, so it's like
but
yeah, they don't look like they don't belong there.
Yeah, like
outside of the fact that they're talking animals.
Exactly, but like it's just how they fit into the aesthetics of that world. But honestly, like my favorite world, it's really hard. I'd probably go with. It's almost a 3-way tie between Frozen, Tangled, and Pirates. The reason why between that with Kingdom of Corona for Tangled, there's a big portion of that is where like you see Rapunzel coming out of the tower, then you have to help Rapunzel get to the kingdom so that way she could see the lights, the flying lanterns. I love that, and then. In Pirates, like, you get your own ship and you're gonna do ship battles, just like in Black Flag. Or like, I was like, what? We get to do this now?
And you can like upgrade them.
It's great.
Like one of the main things, like, because I mean, we could talk about the aesthetics all day, but I want to move more into mechanics.
I agree.
So like one of the main things that I noticed is that there's just, in addition to the insane amount of content that's in this game, just like overall, like they've really gamified almost every aspect of the game. Like, and I know that's weird to say because it's all a game, but like there's parts in certain games where it's like it's more of a monotonous chore or something that, you know, but it's like the ship battles are like fun. They're like rail shooters. They're super fun now. They used to be really kind of like Like, that was, like, the one, like, with Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, which are the only other ones I've played. The ship battles, it was...
Oh, in the gummy ship?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yes!
Because it wasn't bad, but in the first and the second one, the gummy battles weren't that great. Like, it wasn't something I looked forward to.
From what I remember, is that in one, it was, like, just a corridor, and then you had other enemies in it. Oh, I hated it. And, like, you couldn't, until you got to Tarzan's world, you couldn't warp, so you couldn't, like, quick travel to other worlds. So you had to go ahead, like, I want to go back to this.
It was more of a slog.
Oh, God. And then in 2...
the customization was always a cool thing, like building your own ship.
And in two, I didn't mind this because because of 1, but in 2, it's just like, all right, control the gummy ship, and I want to go there, and then you show up at the world, and they open up the worlds as you progress through the game, and it's just like a mini map of like I want to go to this world instead of like actual space battles. In 3. You get a gummy ship, you customize a gummy ship, and then the world's all the way over here, you have to traverse through all space and do it. And then, like, if you fight an enemy, it is just it's a rail shooter. Like, it made the ship combat of the gummy ship way more fun. And I actually done...
Well, yeah, because they have, like, a leveling system now. Like, you like, you know, like, they're each, like, they're leveled with stars, like, from, like, 1, I've seen up to 4 so far. And, like, in addition to the customization actually making a difference, I actually, like, took time and built one because I wanted, like, a boss ship, which ended up being to my benefit because later on in the game you end up fighting a big ship and it was much easier.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked cooler than the normal one they give you. Even though I was kind of disappointed, though, because in the cutscenes they still use the main
Yeah, they
gummy
use the main
ship.
gummy ship. Mm-hmm.
And it's like if they, no matter what Keyblade you're holding, it always would be in the cutscene.
Keyblade you use. So I kind of wanted to go back because one of the things that actually I forgot they did add 100 Acre Wood. I love.
Yeah, is that in the new one?
Yes, it is in the new one.
Do you have to unlock it? Because I didn't play it, and like then Pooh shows up like in like the credits, and I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Yeah, because like I got it after.
Unless I missed, I didn't see it show up anywhere. I don't know where I missed it.
I got it through natural. I got it, mind you, as I played through. I made sure I got all the lucky emblems and the treasures on my playthrough. But like, I was able to go to the 100 Acre Woods after I beat, because it was Monsters Inc. and Frozen. So after I beat Monsters Inc.
I have to look again. I never saw it show up. I don't know.
It's not. You have to go back to Twilight Town and go into the book.
Oh, well, I don't know. I never.
You have to talk to Merlin. You'd go to Twilight Town to talk to Merlin, and Merlin.
I guess I never ended up meeting up with them.
Huh.
I was never prompted to do it in the game. I never. No one was. I never had an instruction.
Because like I went to the 100 Acre Wood. It's a bunch of mini games, but like for me, I love Winnie the Pooh, and I grew up with. Winnie the Pooh.
Same. I would still love to have done it.
When you're in the world, they go Winnie the and I'm like, oh my heart, my childhood.
Do you get a Keyblade from that one?
Yes, you do. Huh. That was actually my favorite Keyblade to use up until Pirates. That was my favorite Keyblade to use. But the reason why I did say Frozen is because I was so effing thrown off. So you go ahead and play through the game, and then all of a sudden you go through this labyrinth, and the whole thing is that you see Elsa running away from the castle.
I thought Frozen was probably the most lackluster story of all of them. Because honestly, you barely talk to Elsa. You talk to her like the one time, and then like you just kind of bear witness.
But
you're
the
less
thing,
involved.
but the thing is that you're kind of like Anna. Anna doesn't see her until the very. Yeah, you're not as much involved with what's happening between.
And then you
them.
get to literally sit through the entire "Let It Go" song.
That's what threw me off. I actually I loved it. I honestly.
Oh, it wasn't bad. It was, but it was just like, man, they did. It wasn't short. Like you just.
It's the whole thing.
It literally
from beginning to end.
You might as well have just cut that chunk out of the movie and put it in. Like that's essentially what it was.
But it looked so good. Like, oh my god! Like I'm like when it got to the point, like you go ahead and you get through, and the whole thing is that you're trying to get to Elsa, and you go through the game, and then you get to the point where like you get to a point where all of a sudden it cuts to a cinematic, and then all of a sudden you hear and then all of a sudden Let It Go starts, and I'm like, and like you see them trying to go through Blizzard, and then all of a sudden Elsa's starting to sing, and the whole thing is like,
it's funny because Sora and gang are just like Sora, Donald, Goofy are just sitting there just like, wow, they're just like witnessing. It was almost like funny to me because I feel like it was meta without trying to be.
Exactly.
It's like them just sitting there
like
watching
they're
happen.
going through because they're trying to find Elsa, and then all of a sudden they hear singing, and they're like, wait, is that Elsa? And they go, come on, and then all of a sudden you see her go through the thing, you see her take off,
and when it's over, Sora's just like, wow. I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm paraphrasing at this point, but he's like, I'm not really sure what just happened, but that was something. Like, essentially.
Yep. And then another part is where when you meet Anna, Kristoff, and Sven, where Anna's kind of telling her part of the story is where she's talking to Sora. And I actually like this a bit more. Is that it cuts to the past, and it's when she's
you get to hear the other song.
Yeah, you get to hear "Do You Want to Build a Snowman?" But it's not the whole thing. It's just the part where it's her trying to get to young Elsa, and Anna's speaking over the song. Now, mind you, I think they could have done a better job with like singing it up because there are parts of the song that I couldn't hear because Anna's speaking over it. But like, I actually really like that where she's explaining to Sora, but you hear the song in the background happening. Like, I was honestly.
But then when it ends, she's singing, so it's like she must have been singing him this story.
Maybe I'm not. Yeah.
Because after that cutscene,
she goes, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
And it's like she's ending a song. So I don't know if she was just doing that as an example or if she was doing that the whole time.
Or like in Deadpool 2. Papa, can you?
Yeah, that's every time I hear that song. That's what I hear about.
Screw you, Ryan Reynolds! God dang it!
It's probably one of the best pop culture points
it's
ever made.
It's so good. It's so good. But anyway, let's go ahead and just the worlds look so good. Toy Story's had its own story. Monsters Inc. was its own story.
I also like the concept of like, and I can't remember if this was brought up in the first two games because I haven't played them in so long. But they made a point to stop Sora from like saying anything that would like allude to the fact that other worlds exist.
Oh yeah, they kept
because they want to like upset. They would upset like the natural order.
Yes, I believe that's a whole thing. Is that? And
I just couldn't remember if that was a thing.
No,
if it was, it wasn't as prevalent as it was.
Oh no, they're like Donald and Goofy are like no. Which is great. One of the times is that like in Toy Story, he's about to bring it up, and like Buzz and Woody are like, well, whatever, we don't care. But man, like that was I loved it where so in Toy Story there's a video game, like the whole thing is that Sora, Donald, and Goofy are from a video game called
Sora is.
Sora, no, yeah.
He resembles a character
from a game called
Yozora.
No, he looks like Yozora from the video game Venom Rex.
Yeah, right.
Which is like in it, like when you go into the Toy Story world, you see a trailer for this video game,
and it's like an over the top Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and like I'm like that's just like
the guy in it looks like Riku.
Yeah, and then you have like the girl who looks like Kairi. Yeah. Like it's very almost like mirror image to that. Like it's crazy. And like Rex is like, you're Zora, and I'm like, oh, I love this stuff. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just like that concept of video game in the Toy Story world.
It was such a smart idea to use that as like why Sora would look the way he does. Like it's so well done. But let's talk about combat. Because we kind of spent some time on the worlds and stuff. But let's talk about combat. So, what do you think of that?
I really, really think they did a incredible job on the combat.
Really?
As far as the type of combat that Kingdom Hearts is, because Kingdom Hearts combat has always been like it's hack and slash, it's combo based, which I like, and it's always been kind of like what I consider floaty.
Yeah,
like it's very whimsically done. It's not like a Bloodborne where it's like everything is hard. You feel it's more like there's skill to it, but it's very forgiving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of floaty mechanics because that's just a magical aspect of the world of Kingdom Hearts. So there's a lot of the combos, like you're just like pulling off these very acrobatic, using a giant steel key that must weigh a whole crap ton.
Yeah.
But one of my main things that they added in this one that just plays into the overall traversal as well as the combat is the free running, which definitely I don't think that was more very
to run on walls. No, you
yeah,
couldn't do that.
That was basically there's a lot of these and they're denoted by a shimmer that you can run.
Yeah,
and it's automatic. They made it automatic. Very you just start running up surfaces. You can switch direction and start running it on the side.
Yep.
And then in addition to jumping, you're able to jump and whatever. And that's where this whole gamifying thing comes in. In addition to that, and what they call flow motion, which is essentially the mechanic of when you're on one of these surfaces, or they also, as an example, had these columns that if you were to dash towards, you start spinning around them.
Yeah.
And you can decide to either just fly off of it as a means of gaining distance, or you can do an attack which damage is increased during a flow motion movement.
Yeah.
And so it gives you the incentive to do it, in addition to the fact that once you learn how to do it, it looks cool as hell, and you can just pull off some really cool maneuvers.
Oh, yeah. And then with, all the different Keyblades had transformations to them.
2 of them.
Some of them did.
Yeah,
some of them did have 2. Some of them only had 1.
Some of them only needed 1. Let's be real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For instance, my favorite Keyblade is actually the Wheel of Fate, the Pirates of the Caribbean Keyblade. And it's what happens is that when you pretty much when you go into combat,
it turns into a bow staff.
It turns into a spear. No, it turns into a is it a bow staff?
Well, he uses it like a bow staff.
Oh yeah. That's
traditionally my favorite weapon in any game that has weapons is a bow staff, and it was gonna be my favorite, but it's not. So I'll let you finish.
So the way there are some Keyblades that have 2 transformations. This one did. So
yeah,
when
the second one.
So the way it works is that you have your command, and then you have these 3 different arrows, and it's pretty much through combat. The more you do combat, pretty much
magic does the same thing.
Yep. So you get to a point where you see commands, and you press triangle, and the Wheel of Fate Keyblade then becomes this spear, and then you just start whacking away at enemies, and it has a range. I love that, where you can go ahead and shoot out. Like my favorite magic is thunder. And you can like shoot it at other enemies. That's great. And then when you build it up again before the meter runs out, you then just turn it into a flag.
But and it's like a super fast bow staff with a lot of agility and a lot of rapid hitting and like.
And then it was
like Storm Flag and like High Rise, I think were the names of them.
Yeah,
because everyone has a name.
Yeah. And then its finisher is that you stamp it on, like you go ahead and stamp it on the ground, and then water, like pretty much it's like the Kraken comes out of the water and starts like just waving around and starts smacking enemies. The Tangled one is probably my second favorite.
Yeah, that one's nuts.
That was great.
When I first pulled off the finisher on that, it's just like this giant. You just stick it in the ground, a giant
pillar
spire comes out of the ground, and you and 2 versions of yourself just start firing into this glowing orb that just rains lasers down onto the ground.
And
like takes the whole map.
And what's really cool is that if you press square, you leave decoys of yourself. They don't do anything. They're just there. And then if you press X, they just start firing.
Yeah, you all start firing. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Before I got that one, I would use that a lot, and that would be ways I would just get damage off of guys. Oh, it's so good. Like you had the Monsters Inc. You had the claws, which then turned into yo-yos.
Yeah, that was actually like when I first got that was like my favorite. Like it was just so much like it was the most agile ninja-like weapon. Like, and you're just like yo-yoing ahead, like draw you to them, and like
Toy Story. Your Keyblade.
That one was surprisingly. I thought it looked kind of goofy.
I love it. Like
the key itself.
Yeah,
but like it's so useful. It turns into like a giant hammer.
Yep,
and then you do
drill. It. Yep, and then you turn it into a giant drill, and then like its finisher is that you take out this big claw and it just bashes away at all the enemy, like pretty much everything around you. Like, yeah, like again, like the animations of everything. Like, it is very flashy and it's very showy.
But that's always been the point.
And that is the point. One of the things that I have seen. People that I've heard, like talking to friends who have been playing the game and that kind of thing, is that the game is easy, even if you put it on the hardest difficulty.
I only died 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, and I only died once up until the very end, and that was like the final boss. Is what?
Yeah, like that. That's like
and the first time I died was because I was still. I was putting more effort into trying to learn the flow motion mechanics than actually fighting.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up just like losing track of my health and dying. And then I failed only one other time was when someone else died because I got lost in San Francisco in one of the missions and I couldn't find one of the people to save. And like
I get you.
And so
you failed.
I failed. And so I was like, well, okay. And then I found them and then because I didn't have a map, so I had to find them. Like, literally by looking around.
Yeah.
And then, the final boss, I ended up dying once against. Because it went on so long that, like, I didn't even use cuisine until the very end. I didn't use any food until the very end.
Did you play it on the hardest difficulty, or you played it on
normal?
No,
I played it on normal.
Okay.
Because, like, I always like to play a game on normal first, and then I'll go to a harder difficulty.
I get you. No, for me, mind you, I played mage build, so my whole...
But yeah, I was all combat.
Oh, I played mage build, so my whole thing was that, like, if I'm low on health, I would just cure, and then I would just...
That was basically the main... I mean, I did use magic, but I was like, the combat's the more fun aspect of it, like, up close and personal.
Oh, for me, I love
But I use Curaga more than anything.
Oh, yeah. Like...
But then again... I'll let you finish. Because, like, I actually, like... I wouldn't even use it that often, because I would get healed by... Oh, by the way, Donald does heal you.
There you go.
In this game, he doesn't die immediately, and so that was a big thing.
But like one of the things...
None of my companions ever died once. Now that I think about it, during any battle.
I don't remember. Again, I don't really remember that. But one of the things is that like the combat is very easy to use, and it doesn't really get difficult up until like the final boss, the very final, like the very end,
there
or
are
like
certain
that last part.
and there are certain enemies that are more difficult than others, even if you wouldn't expect it.
But like you can still get through it.
It is fairly easy.
But
to win.
for me, the reason why sometimes I want to just be a freaking boomstick.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes
I didn't
just
think
want
it was a bad thing. It's still fun to play.
Oh yeah. Like it's not like if you were expecting like, oh man, I thought there was gonna be like a mud burn or something. I'm like, no, this is not like
it was never that kind of a game.
No, and but be intensive in the combat. Like it
got intense at points. Like I'd still win.
Yeah.
But because the amount of special abilities and moves and finishing, like there's so many things that you're given, it's almost impossible to lose.
Yeah. Like the attractions, I love the attractions, but I will say probably like halfway through the game, I started going like, all right, these are too many. I would just go and find the transformation of the Keyblade or command.
Yeah, like I would
Donald
really
and
only
Goofy.
use them like once in a while after a fashion, because it's not like they weren't fun, but it's just like I'd rather just fight my way out because I know I can, and it's more rewarding for me to fight. I'll just like when I'm like, and my favorite Keyblade for the record is probably just the Kingdom Key.
Oh, okay.
Just because I used it the most, because at the end of the game it tells you like what you did the most of.
Yeah.
And I used that the most, and I used S-Form as my most used situational thing. Because, like, honestly, S-Form was, like, the most... Because I would pimp out the Keyblade because it was even stats.
Yeah.
And I just used S-Form all the time. And, like, it was... And then to get up to the Sonic Slash...
Oh, yeah.
Or using even, like, the stun. Like, it was just so useful to me. For the record, Rage Form is, like, my favorite, like, form in the game. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come with any specific Keyblade, but... If your health gets low enough, you can get prompted to go into Rage Form, where you just turn to this black, inky mass that just is essentially a teleporting blender.
Yeah.
And, like, you just have the coolest moves. You move, like, insanely fast. His look was just so awesome. He's just, like, this wild, like, form of energy. You're just spinning around, like, without even trying. Like, if you pull off the finisher in that one, you just shoot this giant laser bomb. Like, it's nuts.
I know. Oh,
Like, literally, in certain circumstances, it was easier for me to get beat up in order to get rage mode and then heal again, because in rage mode, I just tear things apart. Especially in the latter levels. Like, without spoiling anything, when you're fighting, like, you fight like, several big tier enemies at once.
Yep.
And, like, Rage Form, I'm just like, okay, deal with you, alright, deal with you, and then, like, it would just be able to get them down, other than the linking abilities, which is another cool aspect.
Oh, and that like, the link power is, like,
that was a way
really
for them
like
to
that.
bring back past properties, too.
Yeah.
Obviously, though, I mean, okay, I'm just telling you right now that, like, Simba's Pride, or whatever the one with Simba, he's just a giant...
I think it was, like, King's Rage.
Yeah.
Or King's Fury, something like that.
Something like that. It's essentially you're on a giant
flaming Simba.
And you literally could just either expel flame within a radius, and you could walk around.
Yeah.
Or you just jump, and that's what I would do. Literally, it's like, after a fashion, it's the only one I use.
Oh, yeah.
Like, in the later levels, you literally just jump and pounce, and you literally, nobody can do anything.
And then
you can't be blocked, nobody can attack you.
Yep.
Like, you just literally stop
And then its
them.
finisher is just, Simba just jumps into the air
Just
into a
immolates the
fireball
entire field,
and nukes the board. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
The other links you have is that you have
The
Meow Meow Bow Bow, which is
No, it's Meow Wow.
Meow Wow, that was it.
That was the first one you get.
Yep,
It's like
and
this
that's
giant carnival balloon that you bounce around on.
Which is your Dream Eater from Dream Drop Distance.
Oh.
That's
I was wondering where it
that's
came
from Dream Drop Distance.
Is that's Sora's Dream Eater?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. That's why you have that.
For the record, I've only played 1, 2, and 3 at this point. I've never played the in-between games, because at the point that they came out, I never had a mobile device, and I haven't yet bought the remastered versions. I'm probably going to want to now.
I did.
What was the one with the card game? Wasn't that one not that
Chain of
great?
Memories.
Wasn't that one not fun? I heard that one was kind of a slog.
It is a bit of a slog. It's really more. It's because you have to have you have to have card combinations and stuff like that, and you can only have your deck can only be X like big and stuff, and then the more you recharge your deck, the longer it takes, and like it has really like it combat wise, it's interesting, but like it's just there's too much. That's why it like never picked up off the ground. But anyway, in that you had Ariel, which was the other Link that you had. That was where you like dive back and dive.
You dive up so that one, and then if you time it, so there was a lot of timing game. Like that's what I said. Like everything's gamified. Like it would, if you time things during some of these, you would get gained benefits or damage.
Yep.
And if you timed it correctly with Ariel, you get a higher dive, and then you can splash. You just shoot water out, which damages everything.
Yep.
In a radius, so the higher you get, the longer you can get that out before you have to do it again.
Yep, and then you had Wreck-It Ralph, which was like again.
I used that one a few times, but honestly, that one's like more trouble than it's worth for me.
Yeah.
Like you essentially like construct these guns or whatever they are.
Yep.
And then like you try to basically build them around or in front of your enemy, and then you activate it. And I found out that it doesn't auto finish because like if I waited too long, it would just. Everything would go away and nothing happened.
Oh, jeez.
And I had auto finish on, so I know for a fact that was the case.
Yeah.
But basically, you activate it, and then he like smashes them, and they shoot. But honestly, it doesn't do that much damage, and it's like in the midst of a battle, it's one of the most complex ones to try to use. The Stitch one.
One's really fun.
Yeah, but it takes some knowing on, but it is very useful. It essentially, like, you shoot...
What you do is that you shoot Stitch into different directions, and he comes back, and what you're doing is you're creating pretty much, like, zones...
You create a line, and then eventually you create these planes, and essentially you try to build an encasement around your enemy or enemies, and it, like, electrifies them, and then when you activate it, it basically, like, electrifies everyone in the radius for, like, really high damage.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there was,
No, that's it.
That was it? Yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it. Yeah, Stitch, Ariel, Simba, Wreck-It Ralph, and, the Dream Eater. So, yeah. But let's go ahead and get into this last bit, because we talked about gameplay, we've talked about graphics, we've talked about sound. Let's talk about that story.
All right.
So this is probably the one place so first, the story of this game, actually, I love the story of this game.
Yeah, it was a great story.
But one of the problems that I have is that, so for me, I've played one Chain of Memories on the Game Boy.
To be fair, they did have those videos included where it kind of catches
the
you up.
memory archives.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
it touches on like the main plot points.
So
the story.
Yeah, so let me kind of go through this. The games that I've played is I've played one Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, way back in the day. 2, Birth by Sleep on the PSP, and then I did go back to play on 2.8. I watched back cover, the Kingdom Hearts back cover, Kingdom Hearts Key back cover. On 1.5, I watched 358 over 2 days, and on 2.5. Recoded. I did watch those, and the only games I didn't play was Dream Drop Distance, and that was it. So I mean, I'm pretty much very well known, but the big thing is that Dream Drop Distance is probably the one that, like, if you had to miss any Kingdom Hearts, or you had to play one Kingdom Hearts game before this, Dream Drop Distance, because they revert back to that one a lot. Mm-hmm. But even with this story, they revert back to all of the games. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I would have to say when it comes to its story. If you, even with the memory archives, where they kind of run you kind of give you a rundown of what happened in the past games, you're not completely lost. But even for me, when they would reference other things in other games, I'd go, why what do they mean by this?
There's plenty.
What is? I don't understand what that means.
Where I could tell that they were referencing something, but I just didn't know the context. It's like I know that they're trying. Like I know that was a nod to something, but I don't know enough to know why that's significant.
Yeah, and like
it didn't happen often. Generally, when they were dealing with the Dream Drop Distance characters, which was Aqua Ventus.
No, Birth by Sleep.
That
Birth by Sleep,
because they were prominent characters as well later on in the story, and I feel like, by the way, playing as Aqua was raw. She was dope. Like, that Spellweaver crap she could do. I wish you had the ability to just play as those characters in other missions, like, throughout the game.
You play as, you do get to play as Riku in the game.
Yeah, that as well,
right.
Yeah.
So like,
but I mean, like after the main story.
I get you, I understand, but like,
or at least get their moveset.
No, yeah. You know? But like, you get to play when it comes to its story. it's just one of those things where I feel bad for the people who buy it for the Xbox because they don't have access to all the other games.
Yeah.
And that's one of the downsides to this, is that this is the culmination of the Xehanort saga, of the Xehanort story, and really, if you don't know any of the past games, you don't know what happened. It's still a great game. Like,
you'll still enjoy it, and you'll still, have fun with the worlds and stuff. But as far as the actual main background plot, because the worlds are simply
either a retelling of the Disney movies or it's continuing a Disney movie.
It's a means for the story of Kingdom Hearts to manifest itself outside of just the story itself. It's including these other worlds to be able to flesh out this world, and that's the whole concept. But it's like, you honestly don't even need any of those worlds other than for the development of Sora's character and also the original storyline, like prior to this game, with the whole Princesses of Light and like all of the aspects that like basically they use to try to connect the reason these worlds are significant to the main story of Kingdom Hearts. But there is a background story, which is the main plot.
Yeah.
And everything else is just like events that lead up to this main plot.
Yeah. And I will definitely say, for like the story, if you haven't played the other games, they really definitely dive in deep with those past games. And if you don't,
and even if you have played them all, it's still like the most convoluted story of all time.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad... I mean, it's notoriously just... There's so much plot, and there's so many different subplots, and, like, the ideas get so... Like, I don't want to say out there. I mean, they are. But it's just, like, the concepts they're using are so immaterial that it's hard to really... Like, the idea of the heart, and the heart's different than the soul, but a heart is needed for someone to exist. And then when you lose your heart, you create a separate parallel universe version of yourself.
The thing is that in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, they see a heart as an actual physical manifestation instead of like a metaphor.
Because like they made a distinction in 3 from a heart and a soul, because there was a point when one of the main antagonists was just like, we need his heart, not his soul.
Oh, yeah.
And so that they're two distinctly different things.
Well, yeah. Like,
because I always akin the heart to being the soul because of the way it was talked about. In context, you could replace the word heart with soul, and it would still make just as much sense because it was this immaterial thing.
Oh, yeah, but I think like the thing you're missing is that in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, they don't need, like, in there, the soul is like the body, the vessel. Right. And where it's the heart is like this physical.
The heart is the soul.
Yes, of what you're thinking. Yes.
Yeah. Like what I akin a soul to be, the heart actually is, but the soul is just the vessel.
Yes,
is the soul.
Exactly. So like. In
a world of such high magic, I'm sure that makes more sense.
Of course. But like the whole Kingdom Hearts franchise is about friendship and
it's basically the power of friendship.
Yeah.
And that if you'll find who you're looking for as long, your hearts are connected, you never truly lose someone. A lot of positive messages.
Yeah, it's like a sense of like loss and everything. But like this game does do a very good job of tying everything up. Tying everything up except one little thing, and that we'll definitely talk about that.
And it's the only thing I even care about when it boils down to it. The one thing, and I know why they did it. It was still great. Like I can say that it was the ending.
Yep.
It was the ending. Now, not the epilogue, okay, or the secret ending.
Yep.
And those are both things, which were both great. But the ending of the main ending of the story prior to those, because obviously an epilogue takes place after the ending.
Yeah.
And the secret ending, I doubt you would have gotten it before the main ending, but if you did, then it really has no bearing on it anyway. But there was one specific thing at the very end, like right at the end, and you're like, man, and it's just, I haven't been so emotionally confused about something.
I know.
Since I broke up with my first girlfriend.
I know. But again, to tie all this up, this game does a very good job of closing all of the past games, all the subplots, closing in, because you have Axel and Kyrie becoming new Keyblade wielders. And then you have to bring back Aqua, Terra, and Ventus from Birth by Sleep. You have to bring them back from where they've been lost to. And that's the whole goal of this game.
Well, the whole goal is actually to get Roxas. Sora.
That's another one though.
Well, that's Sora's main goal, or at least his one of his main goals.
That's the whole. But the main goal is to get all of these characters back.
Yeah,
that's what we're trying. That's the whole thing, is so that way you can get all these characters back to fight the darkness. That's right. The whole thing. So. There are so many moments in the game, there's so many moments in the game that are just so good and made me have emotions that I like. It was just.
It's been a long time since a game has really gotten me this worked up over
and really honestly, it was well worth the wait.
Oh,
this was honestly well worth the wait.
At playing devil's advocate, one thing I will say is a lot of the storyline, as far as the worlds are concerned, was very, very childish. Not in oh, you're being childish, but geared towards children. I don't want to. It wasn't cringy, but there were some instances where it was more this is it's almost. I mean, and that's always been the Kingdom Hearts thing. It's it's supposed to be that kind of a game. It's an E for everyone, but it's there were some moments where it's just I don't see, where this is, why this matters. They're playing it up a little bit too much, but that's just nitpicking.
Well, it's the normal Kingdom Hearts script.
And that's just nitpicking, but it's that was there was just certain instances where the interactions between
there have been Kingdom Hearts games that have had again, it's been worse. This was not bad, and again, I was expecting these kind of odd,
right, yeah,
awkward
and that's
lines.
Just part of it. You accept it because it's part of Kingdom Hearts.
Exactly,
exactly. When you're dealing with Disney characters, you can't really fault them, I'm sure.
Exactly. So, final verdict. Do you want to begin, or do you want me to begin?
Oh, by all means.
Okay, so final verdict. For me, the aesthetics, the looks, the graphics, everything that we have seen in this game, the new engine for this, it's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. The worlds that they have chosen makes sense in the story of Kingdom Hearts. And what they did to tell the stories, so retelling of Frozen, Tangled, and Pirates, and the new stories of Big Hero 6, Toy Story, and Monsters, Inc. were very well done. The combat being a big boomstick, I absolutely love that. I do not mind.
I think they took everything good about the combat and just made it better and added the flow motion mechanics and that idea. Mm-hmm. Being able to have 3 Keyblades that you can interchange during combat, that's huge.
Yep.
Because that'll completely change up your fighting style depending on which Keyblade you're using.
Yep.
And also being able to have 3 different sets of magic shortcuts.
Yep. That was really good. I mean, the combat of it is absolutely good. The gummy ship combat is just
that was probably one of the biggest improvements.
Was such an improvement
because it's fun to do it now.
No, yeah.
You actually have a world that you're going to explore, this space between spaces. You can get into these gummy battles, which is essentially like a bullet hell rail shooter.
Yep.
And you can upgrade your and it's like I said, everything is upgradable, customizable, or in some way game related in and of itself within the game itself.
Yep. And
not excluding the classic mini games, which I've gotten almost all of them, and I've only played 4.
Oh yeah,
based on old Disney shorts.
And what a good addition to that. They didn't. Need
Some
to
of those
be
are
needed.
addicting.
I know.
They're fun.
I know. Yeah. What a.
Do you get anything for winning them?
You do if you do all of them, you get a Keyblade. So there you go.
Wow.
But anyway, back to my final verdict. Just the look of the game is absolutely gorgeous. The sound of the game is amazing.
That's always
especially the themes in it.
That final theme too.
Oh, it's so good.
I almost cried.
Oh, it's so good. The combat of just being a big boomstick, I personally do not mind it. And then really the only really big downside is that story. I love the story, but it is if you don't know any of the Kingdom Hearts games, or even if you only know a few, you can still get lost, and you still kind of have to. Even for me, I had to go ahead.
Even if you do, it's like even if you do know, like you don't really know. Like there's aspects that will confuse you. Like I'm sure. I mean, there's experts out there that have like. I mean, I'm sure that. I mean, you could follow the story playing all the games, but it's just there's so much to keep track of.
Yeah.
Everybody has like 3 different versions of themselves, essentially, or different names, but they're also the same person. Yes. And it's like, it's hard to, at some points, to be like, okay, I know what's going on, but like, I don't know what part of this is significant over another part because, or what does this mean when this person does this? Is that actually this person? Or, you know, like, it's easy to get confused with communication because everybody seems to know everybody else within the games world, but it's like you got to keep track of like 3 times as many people as you actually think are in the game.
It's just the story is very
convoluted.
Convoluted. And the story is very, very much. You need to be able to play the other past games and to know what's going on. This is not.
This has inspired me to pick up the I want to see if I can get the story so far. So I can play through the remastered versions.
It's worth it, but this is definitely, if you haven't played the other Kingdom Hearts games, it's still worth playing, but you will get lost. And even with the memory archives to play catch up, it's still not enough because there are some plot points that they don't reference in the memory archives where that's their way.
Well, they couldn't. I mean, you'd have to have an insane amount of content.
I understand. It's just
that's why they just re-released the games themselves.
Yes,
and have you do the homework if you want to, or just buy Kingdom Hearts 3. And here's a little catch up for those of you who like this is who this person is.
Yep.
This is like who are the characters in this game outside of the obvious Disney IPs that you'll recognize.
Yeah. So, but all in all, such a fantastic game. I had a good time with it. I'm going to be going back.
I also before you give your verdict, I do want to say the one thing I do really think that they really did well overall is increase the replayability of the game.
Yeah.
Because the only, like, I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't go back and play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but it's like, this is one where it's like, I could continuously play it. And, like, they insert, like, mega challenges after the initial game has been defeated just for you to just try to just be a beast and actually get challenged.
Yeah, I was actually
because that final boss was challenging.
Oh, I agree. And I was actually just about to say, like, I'm gonna go back and go for my platinum run.
Oh yeah, I want to go back because I want the Ultima weapon.
Oh, I agree. I
like
completely agree.
The most badass weapon in that
game.
No,
I definitely agree.
It turns you into.
I definitely agree. Oh, I love it. It's great. It's gorgeous. But anyway, so with all of that, fantastic sound, gorgeous game, gorgeous graphics. Fantastic gameplay. I don't mind being a big boomstick. I just want my combat.
There's
to be
a reason
flashy
I play
and
Devil
good.
May Cry.
Exactly, and the story still really good. I loved it, but it is very much very, very full. And if you don't know the other stories of the past games, you will get lost. But my final verdict to Kingdom Hearts 3 is a 4 out of 5. So. On to you, Blaze.
Okay, well, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
I do think that it is close to being a perfect game, but there are just a few things that... And it's not really their fault. Like, I don't think they could have done much better.
No, like...
But it's really... I mean, I can't just say... I mean, for a game to be... like a 5 out of 5, like a flawless game, those are almost non-existent. It's almost impossible to have a game that just there's nothing bad about it, not a single thing, literally everything being perfect.
It's just, like, honestly, like it's only because of the way Kingdom Hearts is because of its convoluted story. Like, it does a fantastic job of closing everything up.
Oh yeah,
and making you feel like, but it does a good job of making you feel like complete. It's finished.
The reason I don't give it, I give it a 4.5 because I essentially think it's near perfect. Mm-hmm. It's like everything we've discussed, story included. Yes, like everything was fun to do. Every aspect of the game, there was like no part of the game where I felt I was doing a chore.
Yeah.
Like, where I felt I was doing something I didn't enjoy. Like, they just kept... like, every single new place you went, they introduced new game mechanics and concepts. In addition to the fact that as you level up, you gain extra actual ability, like combos, you gain combo extensions, you gain completely different mechanics like jumping and gliding and like things that you didn't have when you started.
Yep.
That completely change things up, and like or like new attractions, the weapons you get, like you just constantly till the like up to the very end of the game, like you get new things to, here's a different way to play. Here's something else that you can use, and like in plenty of instances, I was just like, oh, this is like the move I've been waiting to get.
Yeah.
Like the one move that I was just like, finally, was when you got the counter move.
Oh yeah.
Like when you do a successful block or you do a successful recovery and you can counter, like that is huge for me to be able to do that. Because I use dodging more than I use blocking, but the blocking is actually extremely useful if you can time it correctly. Because it pretty much negates everything.
Yeah.
And then once you get the counter, you're able to like instantly do a move afterwards, and that's big for me.
Yeah.
But like the only thing that really, like I said, kept it from being completely perfect would be the convoluted story for those who don't have the skill, the time, or the will to like want to know everything about that universe, because it is extremely vast in its ideas.
Even for, like again, there are definitely people who have done story explaining.
Oh yeah,
of Kingdom Hearts.
It can be done. You can understand all of it, but it's like even if you have played every game, unless you just beat every game, or like even if you have like just given the time that it would take to beat each individual game, by the time you get to 3, you're going to lose track of some of the concepts and some of the millions of aliases that go on in this game.
Yeah.
Like the main villain literally has like 4 versions or 3 versions of himself.
Yeah. So
across different timelines with different looks, but they're still the same guy, and it's like you're just like, all right, well then, like you're just like, okay, fine, you roll with it because it doesn't matter.
All right.
But like like the only that and the fact that honestly, I don't want to, like, I love the ending, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's like, that's also just like a sliver of the reason I can't give it a perfect score. But then again, I still think it was a fantastic ending, and I know why I think. I do know why it ended the way that it did, but I don't really know exactly what happened yet.
And we will definitely have a spoiler-filled episode up for everyone who wants to go ahead and
we're essentially
listen
just going
to us.
Focus on the ending and why it
There
happened.
we go. But anyway, your final verdict, Blaze.
4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. Perfect. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We always appreciate it. We went ahead and gave Kingdom Hearts a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. Very good game. Very good game.
Honestly, it's been, I haven't had a game that has gotten me this emotionally invested. I don't even remember the last time. I honestly can't even think of it.
Mine was last time I like, wow, like mine was for me was like Last of Us, where I had
you know what, you're right. No, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I will say, like,
but even more so than that.
But this game,
mainly because the ending, just like I haven't been tugged at like that, like in a long. Because I'm pretty stone cold. Like I have emotions, but I'm pretty much indifferent.
Okay.
And this is just like I was just like, I need to look up someone else's opinion on this because I need a second thought. I don't know how to take this, and I don't know what this is making me feel this way. But the thing is, because of that, because it made me think about it so much, and it affected me emotionally to any degree.
Yeah.
I knew it was a good ending.
Yeah. Well, guys, speaking of opinions, we would love to hear what you guys would have to say about Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, please.
What you guys...
if you have beaten it, not in this one,
please.
But in the other video, the spoiler video, if you have like anything to say about what I'm talking about, please do.
Yes, so please, no spoilers in the comments if you can. That'd be awesome because we want to go ahead and have everyone enjoy this game for themselves.
Absolutely.
But please go ahead and let us know what you guys think. If you like the game, if you disagree with us, if you agree with us, what you guys think about it. We always appreciate it. But thank you so much for watching. If you want to, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, which is youtube.com/brotherhoodgeeks. Press the subscribe button and then also press that bell icon. So that way, every time we put up a video, you know we put up a video. Also, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can also follow me and the channel on Twitter at Dualshock'd BOG. That's the name of our PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd BOG. You can also watch us live on Twitch when we stream at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. Anything else from you, Blaze? Outside of being mad about that ending?
No, I'm thinking of something else.
Ooh.
Oh, fun thing. Look into the theories about the cover art of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Ooh.
Because it has a lot of symbology that I don't think a lot of people have picked up on compared to the other ones. Because if you look at all... And this isn't me coming up with this. I read this a long time ago when it was first coming out. If you look at Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and you look at where characters are positioned and the directions they're facing and like that kind of thing, it literally symbolically represents what happens in the game.
Huh. Interesting.
You notice how, as an example, in the third one, everyone is there. They're all facing the same direction, upwards. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that. I like the little tidbit. We might want to go ahead and bring that up. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I guess that's all from you, Blaze, I guess. Yeah, sweet. Awesome. Stone face. Stone cold. Yay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, live to play. Play together. We'll see you guys next time.
So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes.